guys, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making this box, and to do that we're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 11. So we're going to start out on the 8.5 side, and we're going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then turn it to the 11-inch side, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, and 9. That's all the scoring we have to do. Now, when I made this project, I made a template so that you can see exactly what needs to be cut off and so forth. So I'm going to put those photos up, and then we'll go ahead and make this project. All right, so let's cut away the pieces we do not need. You know what, before we do that, I'm going to do a little bit of burnishing on these score lines because it is so much easier to do before you cut versus after you cut, since everything right now is together. And this cardstock that I'm using is the 110 pound, so it's extremely thick, but I like using the thicker cardstock on my, especially on my 3D projects, which is mainly what I make. The regular cardstock will work just fine. Now this is just regular cardstock. Okay, so here we go. Let's cut away this piece down here. We're going to cut away this piece here in the corner. We're leaving this piece here. Actually, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and cut in on all of these score lines. This is the top of the box. They all need to be cut in anyways. Okay, so this one we're going to leave. This one we're cutting in half. So we're going to come down and just freehand cut across and cut it in half. This one as well, on the end, we're just going to cut it in half. This one here, we're going to totally cut away. So let me get in here and get rid of this. Okay, so that's gone. So this is what it looks like right now. Before I assemble everything, I'm going to take my corner rounder and going to just round these corners on the top. It will make everything go together so much easier. You don't have to do this. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can take your scissors and round the corners if you want. So that's what we look like right now. We're going to take our scissors again. This is the bottom of the box. Cut up on those score lines. And now everything's ready to go. So this is the flap here. If you had a pattern piece of paper, this would be the inside. So possibly the blank side. This would be the pattern side or the outside. All right. So we're going to fold this tab in here. I'm going to put some double-sided adhesive. I love this score tape. It's super duper sticky. So it's great for 3D projects. Usually once you stick things together with this, they do not come apart. So you got to make sure you get it right the first time. I'm going to line up my score line to my, in all theory, you should be able just to fold this over, but sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly. That's not too bad. Okay, and then everything should line up just like that. All right, this is your top. I'm going to go ahead and fold in everything up here. If you find that everything's not closing very well, which this one's kind of tight, all you have to do is just kind of give your flaps a little bit of a notch out on the sides. And then you can always go back in with your corner rounder if you want to and round those corners again. You should be able to. This is why it's so much easier to do before the box is assembled. Okay, and then when you fold things in, it goes in so much easier now. Okay, now this is the bottom, so what we want to do is the front flap we want to go last. So we're going to go our 2 side pieces, our back piece, and then we're going to take, and I'm going to actually, just because of the way I cut that, I got a little bit of extra on that flap and I don't want it sticking out. So I'm going to just trim a little bit away. I'm going to take my adhesive and lay some down on my front flap and then pull it back. There we go. All right, there's our box. One last thing I would do, just because it would make it easier to open. This is something you don't have to do, but I have a 1-inch hole punch, so I'm just going to stick my hole punch in here. If you're making a box that is smaller than this and your punch won't fit in, this is something also you can do before you assemble the box when it's all flat, because at that point, if you couldn't get your punch in, you would still be able to do this. You'll be able to do this to your project. I'm just barely going to stick it to where I can kind of see some of the cardstock coming through on the punch. And I'm going to give it a slight punch so it gives me a little bit of a cutout there. And then when I close my flap, I have a little bit of a thumb hole to flip that lid open. If you don't do that, sometimes it's a little bit hard to open the lid. And this way it just makes it easier. Okay, that's the project for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Okay, I'm not going to show a lot of embellishing on these projects, but I did want to show you this tip about the ribbons like this. What I have done is, this ribbon for this particular project is about 40 inches long, and I measured excuse me, I measured the center of the ribbon, and I put a glue dot on the ribbon, and then I stuck the glue dot with the ribbon on the top of the box, and this is going to hold it in place. You can still open and close the box, which is nice, but it's going to keep this in place so that when we actually go to wrap the ribbon around our project, the ribbon stays in place and it's just a lot easier to deal with versus if you don't put that glue dot on there. And then you can come up and tie it, you can tie a bow, you can finish it out however you want, but just putting that glue dot there initially will really help keep that ribbon on there. All right guys, thanks, see you later.